Hey, Throwback 76, and we are on to the new era. So let's quickly recap what happened at the pay-per-view on Sunday, Sacrifice, May 15, 2011, and we can quickly segue onto the new Impact Wrestling. The opening match was for the World Tag Titles. Crimson and Joe defeated Loki and Kingston to retain the titles. Then Carlito defeated prize fighter Ray to win the Global Championship. John Morrison defeated AJ Styles in a first time ever match by cheating. Austin Aries beat Robbie E to retain the X title. Jeff Hardy beat RVD in an I Quit match. Abyss defeated Sting in a no DQ, then continued the beating. Kurt Angle became the #1 contender by beating Matt Morgan in a non-sanctioned match, and in the main event we got Jay Lethal beating the Pope in a last man standing to retain the world title he won at the last pay-per-view, which was Lockdown. And we got a promotion for the main event of Slammiversary, which is on June 12th, Jay Lethal against Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight title. So, we got TNA Impact Wrestling, and you can already see the change here. We did rebrand the show just like it happened in real life. So it went for TNA from TNA Impact to TNA Impact Wrestling. But there's kind of a storyline purpose here because ever since Bischoff was pushed away from power and we got the whole angle with the World Congregation basically wrapping up, we needed to make some changes to the show. So Paul Heyman advertised this change. We began with a fallout from the pay-per-view where Lita retained. Angle is the new #1 contender. We opened the show with Heyman. He welcomed the crowd and the viewers at home to Impact Wrestling. So we got the whole rebranding stuff. The ring is blue, just like in real life. We get the transition from TNA Impact. So the originals came out to get a praise by Heyman. The originals are AJ, Daniels, Kazarian, and Beer Money, which were the team that beat the World Congregation at Lockdown in the Little Lockdown match and made Heyman the sole GM of the show. But after they got the praise, then they got jumped by Team Fight Club, which is Homicide, Hernandez, Eric Young, who is the leader, Loki, and Eddie Kingston. So we got a huge 10-man brawl. And this is basically an introduction to a new program between these two factions. The Originals isn't really an official faction, it's just guys who are friends with each other behind the scenes and have an unofficial allegiance on the show. But the Originals isn't really a solid stable on the show. You can see each one of those guys doing their own thing. Beer Money with the tag team, AJ on his own. He just wrestled Morrison, Daniels, and Kazarian on their own. But here they got attacked, so security came out to split two factions apart. Then we got an advertisement for a Lita and Angle face-off. That's the new World Championship program. The opening match on the show was for the Global Championship. We got Carlito beating prize fighter Ray after a well-timed hit with the title in the back of his head and getting the pin. So yeah, Carlito is the new Global Champion. I think after Carlito came in at the beginning of the year and had his feud with Mr. Anderson, which was very a lengthy feud. It encompassed a few months. We need to give something to Carlito to give him some credibility, and the global title is pretty much a good choice for him. Then we go to the back where Styles, Daniels, and Kazarian vowed to Heyman to book them in a 6-man tag against Team Fight Club. Backstage interview with Gunner, he called Anderson a stone cold ripoff who always got on his nerves. So this is basically a heel promo by Gunner. Ever since Anderson stopped feuding with Carlito, I'm switching him to feud with Gunner because I don't have anything for both of these guys, basically. Because I have plans for Anderson, which will be further down the line. But right now we need to put him in a fewer feud, and Gunner is a perfect opportunity for this. Then we got a singles match. Mr. Anderson over Abyss via DQ. Gunner got involved. Sting made the save. The whole purpose of this segment is to have Sting taking out Abyss. Then Gunnar brawling with Anderson, basically to promote these two separate feuds. Sting was beaten at the pay-per-view by Abyss. He was really broken, so probably they're gonna have another match at Slammiversary, but we have to up the stakes. I'm gonna see what to do with Sting here. Then we got a locker room talk. Christy Hemme officially broke up with Robbie following his loss to Aries, so she followed up on her promise. I think the whole thing with Hemme and Robbie has run its course. My plans for Robbie is I'm gonna introduce a new partner soon, and I'm gonna put him in a tag team. He had a run with the X title. Now we need to get rid of him having a girlfriend, and we're gonna put him in something else. We got a three-way for the X title number one contendership. John Morrison defeated Robbie E and Sean Moore. Aries was on commentary, so the next match for the X title is gonna be John Morrison challenging Austin Aries, which sounds great on paper. Then we got a tag team match. The Guns defeated RVD and Jerry Lynn via Skull and Bones. RVD basically lost the feud to Jeff Hardy, so now we are probably gonna keep him down in the tag division with Jerry Lynn. Then we got Steinerized, which is the Scott Steiner show. He introduced his new partner, The Freak. The Freak is basically Rob Terry. This was the gimmick he used in the Menagerie stable back in 2014, I think. Yeah, Rob Terry by its own doesn't really do anything, and I'm rarely featuring the British Invasion guys at this point, so probably it's gonna. I feel like it's better for him to repackage him with a mask, call him the Freak, and team him up with Scott Steiner. At least this is gonna be funny. Then we got a promo by Beer Money, who vowed to become the new tag team champions. Yeah, tonight it's gonna be a tag team championship match. Then we got the number 3 match from the best of 5. Gail Kim defeated Sarita to go 2-1 up. Jeff Hardy cut a promo saying he's on fire ever since he beat RVD at the pay-per-view. Next week promotion, the Hardys are invited on Carlito's Cabana. So this may be the next feud for the global title. One of the Hardys going for the global title, probably Jeff. 6-man tag, Styles, Dennis, and Kazarian defeated Eric Young, Kingston, and Low Key. But of course, Homicide and Hernandez came out for the 5-on-3 beatdown. So we'll probably set up a 5-on-5 at Slammiversary. We're gonna see what happens here. Then we got the highlight of the show. So Jay Lethal and Kurt Angle came out for a face-off in the middle of the ring. So we got a lot of pressure. Both guys are baby faces. They have history together since Jay Lethal beat Kurt Angle in the finals of the Lockdown series, so he could go on to Lockdown and face the Pope, where he became the world champion. So now they'll have a world title match. And basically we got Angle cheap shotting Lethal and beating his ass and raising the world title, effectively turning heel. So we are a year and a half into this game, and this is the first Angle turn I have done. He has been a babyface all this time, and he was teaming up with Sting, feuding with a lot of guys. But we need to turn him heel because I'm really... there's not many heels on the roster anymore, and we need a credible main event heel, and we need a good heel to go against Lito, who is the babyface champion. We can have a face versus face match. So we are probably gonna have Angle explain himself and his actions on next week's show, but this week's show is just gonna be the turn, because in order to do something memorable, we need to do it step by step. Many times they hotshot a heel turn, then they have the explanation. No, when you do a turn, you have to do it by its own. So next week people expect some form of explanation for it. Probably he's gonna open the show and explain why he did this. So yeah, we got a heel turn by Angle on the show, which is pretty big news, and it sets up the program in a new way. It's shown in a new light So we got the main event. The main event is for the World Tag Team titles. This has a backstory, of course. Crimson and Joe against Beer Money. Basically, on an Impact a couple of weeks ago, Crimson and Joe promised Beer Money title shot because Beer Money, I think they beat Loki and Kingston. I don't really remember, but I think Beer Money beat the number one contenders and wanted the title shot, but Loki and Kingston already had the number one contendership. So Crimson and Joe promised Beer Money to give them title shots after they retained. So Crimson and Joe retained at the pay-per-view, and now they Beer Money gave their title shot. So it's not Beer Money's time. They've already had the World Tag Team titles, I think, last summer. So we have Crimson and Joe going over clean, but then they got attacked by the Pope and Matt Morgan. So the show ended with Pope and Morgan doing a beatdown on tag champs. They stood up with the belts. So this is the new tag program, Crimson and Joe against Pope and Morgan. The reasoning behind is that Pope, ever since he lost the world title, we need to put him in some place where he's still credible. We can't shut him down the mid-card like this. And Morgan as well. Morgan has been pretty good ever since he joined the Pope in this stable. They had the World Congregation. And Pope and Morgan was kind of an alliance because Morgan was his right hand all the time when the Pope was the World Champion. So now they're going in as a tag team and they're challenging for the World Tag Team titles. This is the new change. We got the Impact Wrestling logo. The next show is the May 26th. So, yeah. We got a pay-per-view Slammiversary on June 12th. So, this is gonna conclude this episode. Stay tuned for next week's Impact.